I'll be real quick. My husband is a veteran, and my husband is a veteran, and we were granted, a, upgrade. And before we could have the upgrade completed in the house, we had to do, some things, video, chat calls. Everybody is not computer smart. I know a lot of veterans probably just look at a computer and walk by it and keep going. Me as a veteran's wife, I keep it clean, that's about all I do. There's gotta be somewhere in the system that is an office that says old school.
Yes.
And let's do paperwork, let's make an appointment, come on in, we understand that you can't do the computer, you don't know how to do the Zoom. And as you age, some of those things leave you.
Yes, amen.
Oh, you agree? I get that. So, yeah, that's, I know, all these things that everybody brought up is very important, and I understand that. And another thing is, I think they have what, let's see, what's the word? What, benefits or things that are out there for vets, they can't ask about it if they don't know about it. You know, the grants that we received, we got blessed because someone knew about it and related to us. You know, so, it would be nice if there was some kind of system where, the communication can be out there for the veterans so they can apply or ask about those certain grants or whatever.
Thank you, Dee.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, thank you. So, again, Dakota Agreement, founder of Westwood AI, got out in 2019, did some contracting work around the country, different federal agencies. And quite honestly, the only reason I'm here in West Michigan, again, even though I grew up in Muskegon, was kind of a ad hoc incident. I was in Huntsville, Alabama. I don't know if you know where that is. But yeah, phenomenal place.
Fort McClellan, Alabama.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Missile Defense Agency, and absolutely loved it. Northern Alabama was phenomenal. But a death in the family brought us back up here, and we had to try to generate a business. So, I will say, you know, I don't wanna even pretend like I know what the generations before me had gone through or are going through now. But when I left in 2019, there was a whole program that you go through that you're congressionally mandated, right? I think it's called TAPS, right? That you go through, here's how you leave, here's the programs, here's the incentive, and there was a lot of, let's say rhetoric, right? Is probably the best term for it, in terms of when you leave as a veteran, especially if you have a disability, there's a plethora of opportunities to start a business. Very entrepreneurial spirited people, there's money, I've never found that to actually be the case, in terms of actually having programs that are set aside for veterans, let alone disabled vets, where, you had, an ability to, we'll say leverage that, if that's the correct terminology, to build a business, create a community, or connect it in that term. So, we're looking at this now, we do quite a bit of work with the Air National Guard, we still do quite a bit of work with the Army, Department of Navy, some different soft teams. But I will say it's extremely difficult for a small business to actually plug into those federal dollars, because the programs that are set aside right now are mostly SBIR, so Small Business Innovation Request. The process of which is, like we discussed a little bit earlier, it's extremely broken, right? To the term of, the connection to the warfighter is not quite there, so when I write a solicitation, it's very vague, there's no really connection to the warfighter nor value add. To the lady's point, there's not necessarily an evaluation criteria for the people looking at what I submit, meaning, you know, we have an AI company, so it's obviously very, very highly technical. The person looking at that saying whether or not it meets the warfighter criteria have no idea what they're looking at. And they're just saying yes or no. So that's the difference though, not just between that contract, it's like the situations I run into now, where there's money available, there's overages, there's underspend, but they cannot give it to a small business even if it meets the criteria, because we don't have a federal contract in place. And if we did, it's immediate. So all of this in line, and I think it kind of fits into the same discussions that we're having on the VA. At what point do we look at those things and we go, adding money, taking away money, obviously very important. I'm not pro taking money away from the VA, obviously.
Right.
But at some point, where do we look at the model of how that money is spent? Right? Because even at the peak of where the VA had the money, you know, in that case, the service was lackluster at best,
Yeah.
right? So, same thing with procurement, right? With my era of veterans coming out, a lot of them wanna start businesses, wanna do that. Where do we change up that structure to actually allow better communication or connection between those federal funds going downstate to actually allow that to happen?